Hey bud, welcome. As you can see, we got our chainsaw in hand. So now we need to go ahead and get this base looking a little bit better. Oh, apparently we also need to check our power because we just blew a fuse. Well, let's have a look. See, there's plenty of biomass there. Oh, no fuel here. Interesting. All right, this is the leaves intake. Well, here's what we'll do. We're just going to take that from there. We'll stick it over in here for now. We can turn this back on, and that should give us the power that we need to continue, at least in the short term. Now that we have that, let's get revving. So there's two different chainsaw modes. There's area and single. We pretty much always want to do area, because it'll clear everything around what you're cutting, not just the tree you're cutting. And that doesn't include itself to only the trees that are cut. It also will pick up all the leaves that are around the area. So it's a great tool for early clearing and giving us the ability to get our fuel reserves up. So let me do a little bit of the old chop chop around here. No, it's the safe chainsaw. I ain't gotta worry. Yeah. Whoa. Hey man, you standing? Standing for me? That's a cool trick. Alright. Back to it. So our next main goal is going to be to sort out this copper production. We're gonna tear this apart. We're going to build our floor off of this. Actually, that's very good. Now let's drop off our leaves and our wood. Actually, you know what? Let us go ahead and create another constructor here. We're gonna snap that. And what this constructor is going to do is, this one's old job, so it is going to take the biomass and turn it into solid biofuel. So we're just adding one more step into the process. We can go ahead and actually, we're going to hold on to this for a little bit because we will be researching mushrooms or mycelium here shortly. So let's get this guy hooked up to a power line. Very busy power area over here, of course. All right, so now that will take the leaves, turn them into the biomass, which it is slowly feeding in. That biomass will then turn into the solid biofuel. And if you look at the fuel, you'll see it is 450 megajoules, I believe, of energy versus the 180 megajoules of the biomass that's used to create it. So we end up getting more power out of the biofuel, and ultimately it saves us from making as many trips to the boxes to drop off the leaves and foliage. Just saves us some time, and then eventually we will have the power supply fully automated. So as I mentioned, let's go ahead and cut down the copper supply here. Actually, before we even do that, let's drop off our items. We're gonna need the space. We need to make sure that our colors match our channels. So I've got the channel hash color number here. I'm just going to type these in. 1 second. Damn it. Oh, come on. All right, got our colors looking right. Now we just need to get everything else looking right. Let's make sure our trinket is on the S. I like the little glowy gun there. Let's see, I haven't cycled through all of the... That one reminds me of Dead Space. Isaac from Dead Space. Oh, that's cute. Oh, yeah, I think that's the one. If you ever played NFL Blitz, you'll feel the same way. I just want to look at this one real quick. Okay, yeah, let's definitely go with the big head. I don't know when we'll ever see ourselves, but oh, you know, I think I might have an idea of when. Okay, let's go ahead and start clearing this out, shall we? All right, these poles are a little annoying, but that's all right. We will work around them. Let's also make sure that we have our next objective up on top of the screen there, which should be the parts assembly, of which we actually have nearly everything that is required. We're not going to worry about it too much for now though. What I'm really interested in is iron sheets and concrete. Oh man, that Mercer sphere is just over there taunting me. Let's go ahead and zip zap those fireflies and take care of this, shall we? Didn't even get to spit them out. So the Mercer sphere is actually quite a great piece of tech. We have to research it first, but eventually it's going to give us the option to upload items to the cloud, essentially. And you can do it either from your inventory or remote. Of course, we have to unlock all that here, and that takes a little bit of time, but it is highly useful. So, since we're here, as mentioned, let's go ahead and grab that mycelium that we had and the biomass. I'm pretty sure it's going to require that from us as well. And completed. Fabric. Completed. Making the fabric. Not enough fabric. Pretty sure the mycelia comes from the cactus looking plant. Yeah, it does. Because we don't really have a whole lot of it. We need to cut down some more cacti. There's some. Very good. Okay, that should give us enough to get going here. Making the fabric. Parachute completed. Okay. So, if you're not familiar with the parachute, it really just lets us be able to jump from heights and not get damaged as long as we have it equipped and we use it. The fun thing about it though is that it has some funky mechanics or physics, however you want to describe it. And you're actually able to get into places you wouldn't normally expect just by jumping repeatedly. So it's a great early item to have, and that is going to be our big goal for this episode. We're going to need to fight this little guy off. Actually, I just got completely sidetracked here. I'm not sure why we ended up fighting this guy, but he had to pay for it. So blue slugs, I think I mentioned in maybe episode 1, are used for overclocking, and overclocking really just increases the output of a single item. It becomes super useful because it also allows for the ability to set the clocking speed itself. So if you want to have a certain output to input ratio, it becomes far easier than just spreading out the machines based off of what is available to you. So now that we have all of this researched, we're going to get our parachute. We're going to grab the remaining floor materials, make our floor, and then we can start rebuilding our copper. All right, let's craft this parachute and get it on our back. This way we don't have to worry about taking too much fall damage. It of course will still happen, and I have died plenty of times jumping even with one on. Sometimes you just get a little overzealous and take your jumps a little bit too far. So that said, let's go ahead and get a base down. We will go ahead and hotkey our foundations, whoops, and a ramp, just because we will be using these quite a bit as we build out. So Let's see if we can't start building on top of these rocks here. The reason I want to do that is I want to try and hide the unnecessary scenery as best I can. Rocks being one of them. And since we can't blow up rocks, we are going to build on top of them. You can change your build mode in this game in case you're not aware. There is default, vertical, and zoop. Zoop is really great and we use it almost constantly. Default is barely on just because zoop will give you the same results, it just takes an extra click. But if you want to say have 10 more, you can zoop it out and create 10 platforms all at once. So let's zoop a little further here. Unfortunately, we are going to have this rock. We could have built up over that rock itself too, but we can also build into it or try and make sure that it's covered up with scenery or decoration. Otherwise, we just get way too far off the ground and we're not looking for that just yet. Okay, let me finish this floor. All right, we now have a nice flat space to start working with. You can see our mascot here has already decided to break it in. We've got our driller running on our first copper node, and we are going to go ahead and start building our wire network off of this. Just like, let's go ahead and get this copper network built so that we can call it a day. Chop chop. Let's see, we need to make ourselves a new miner, which requires a equipment workbench, which we broke down just a moment ago as we were making our space. Let's go ahead and get this guy made and get our second copper node activated. All right, so we break the iron or the copper line down this way. Each smelter is going to pull out 30 ingots a minute using 30 copper ore. The wire makers or wire constructors will take in 15 copper ingots per minute, so that means two machines can take in the output of the smelter that's putting out 30. Now we can actually bring these back together in a conveyor merger like so. And what we'll be doing with these reconverged wires is making cables. So as you can see, it takes 2 wire or 60 per cable, which makes 30 a minute. We can go ahead and hook that up there. And just for now, let's go ahead and catch these cables while we're building up. So now that our first smelter is successfully utilizing its full line to make cables, we're going to go ahead and split it again with 2 more or 1 more smelter. And we can actually just save those wires as wires because we're going to need plenty of both of these in the future. That was just a little blown fuse. Nothing to worry about, just ran out of power. I need to keep the leaves input running, but I do want to go ahead and finish this copper line as we want to wrap up the episode. All right, so now that that is done, we can create another storage container where we can remerge to store these. Let's see. Oh, silly me. Forgot to put in the smelter. Redo. There we are. Only a slight inconvenience. So that should get us running at full efficiency for this miner. Pulling out 60 ore a minute. We're smelting 30 per smelter. We have constructors making wires at 15 per. And then finally, we're bringing it back in at 30 cables per minute, taking in 60 wires. So really this should stay at near peak efficiency as long as we don't let it back up. So let's go ahead and close this one off by putting in the final milestone. We've been holding it just for a little while now. We have plenty of iron plates and screws as we made them in the last couple of episodes. Go ahead and fire. And that is going to open up a new world of crafting for us with the assembler being able to take in 2 items. This also unlocks our phase 1 milestone item that we'll have to create called smart plating, but all in good time. Anyway, I'll see you at the next one. Take care, bud.